And that's why polyamory is bullshit.
Another one. All right. Welcome back to the Camp Throuple Podcast. We are your hosts.
I'm Alana.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Kevin. Got a good one for you today. Going to be switching up the, what would you call this? The template, the schedule?
The format.
The format of how we're going to be filming. We're trying something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So try it with us.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get this started, baby.
Kick it off with a little video, shall we? I don't want to be poly. Is it so bad to just be mine? I don't want to be poly. I'm the fooling around who has the time. I just want to be naughty with you, babe. And only you, babe. I don't want to be poly.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty cool that there's going to
good.
there's music already about these types of relationships.
Well, I think that I saw that video for the first time because someone tagged us in it.
Yes.
And then I started going through the comments of it. And like people were kind of mad. Like poly people were kind of upset about it. being
Really?
Were.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there is, I think, a section of the polyamory community that's a little more sensitive, I would say, when it comes to anything that's posted that's like could be seen as anti-polyamorous, which I don't think it was. I think they were being funny.
I think they're being funny, and we've heard it ourselves from people who aren't polyamorous that follow us about being on dating apps and people looking for a third, people looking for others in polyamorous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want it in your life, that's cool. That doesn't make you a bad person just because you don't want to be poly.
But I'm sure it can be kind of like frustrating if you're going on a dating app to say you're like just trying to meet a dude, like monogamous relationship, and everything you're running into is like another couple, another couple, another couple.
Someone even brought that up to us that they were on Tinder. And well, they didn't bring it up to us. No, they actually were kind of upset in our comments.
Yeah.
I think because we posted about a dating app that's for polyamorous relationships, more particularly, I think like 3 people
Yeah.
or in like sexual experiences. But anyway, they were excited about it because now Tinder wouldn't be filled up with people who were looking for this kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And I think it is kind of good to have an app that is focused on that because then you know what everyone's looking for. You know that there's like-minded people and you're in it for the same thing, you know?
Well, and I wonder too, I think this video, at least for me, I was thinking like how many people are being kind of pressured into this kind of relationship because it's becoming more mainstream. So say you're like in a relationship with a guy or a girl and your partner's like, look at all these other people doing it. Like, maybe we should try it. Like, I wonder if more people are under pressure to do it.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think of it like that.
I didn't either.
In terms of the app, there should be in all apps a way for you to select what you're looking for.
Yes.
And then the algorithm funnels you into a group of other people looking for similar interests, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Tinder does operate that way. We didn't really use it.
I've never used Tinder.
I've
Yeah.
never used Tinder. So I don't know if that is an option with that or with dating apps that are just for any and everybody. But it's kind of funny because in our relationship, we talk about how we're both, Meg and I are bisexual. And so we are kind of we say like, we're getting the best of both worlds in this relationship. That doesn't mean that every bisexual person needs to be in this relationship or wants to be in this kind of relationship.
Like you could have a relationship with a guy and then you break up and then have a relationship with a girl. Like you could be bi that way.
And you can be, monogamous and just keep it separated.
Yeah.
And that's totally cool.
Yeah.
You know?
But I understand the song and like the points kind of it makes. And it is just funny. Like,
It is a funny song.
catchy.
Yeah, it's catchy.
all right,
All right.
let's get down to business. So every week, us 3 are all going to pick our own video to share with each other that none of us have actually seen that the other person found. So let's do it. Who's going first?
I don't know. Do we do this in any particular order?
No, go for it.
Okay. We're just going to kick it off with our first video.
You didn't walk into her car. Yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal. Walking in the car, that's not a big deal, right? That's what went wrong. That's why she didn't text you back.
That's an integral step, dude. You have to, especially at night.
He ended the date And he didn't walk her to the car.
Yeah.
But it's like free brownie points. It takes like 10 seconds, and it's like
10
easy
seconds.
to do. Yeah.
Why didn't you walk her to the car?
But he's saying he's not interested.
My car was completely in the other direction.
It doesn't matter if your car's on the other side of the Sahara Desert. You walk her to the car.
But I didn't.
Why not?
Okay. Because it was cold outside and it was dark. Why would I want to walk her?
That's why you needed to walk her to it. That's the reason you do it.
Did your dad not teach you this?
So she walked in the dark, in the cold, alone to her car.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who found that one?
Alana.
I found that one.
That's good. Do you mind if I go first on this one?
Kick it off, please.
So there's a few things that I was thinking about when watching this video. One, I was raised, my parents taught me to be like, to believe in like chivalry, like walk the lady to the car, open the door, like hold the door open for somebody that has bags in it, just kind of be a gentleman, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that I've had conversations with others, particularly in like this equality movement that like women and men are exactly equal on every single thing, which I disagree with. I think there's strengths and weaknesses in each area. And I don't think holding the door open for somebody, walking somebody to their car, opening the door, these kinds of things are negative. There's a good intention behind it. Not that a woman can't do these things on her own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's an act of kindness and good intention behind it. You know what I mean? But secondly, hearing this dude, I understand the logic from his perspective too. Like, the heck, like, I'm over here. Like, she's going to be, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, maybe. We don't know.
We don't know that. There's a lot of times that women are alone in the dark and things happen.
That's right.
And so men don't get, I'm not saying men don't get attacked because you get mugged. You know, someone could come out of nowhere. If they're bigger than you, they're like, oh, that's an easy target. And still, like,
People, there
get
are men that
attacked.
can still, you know, in the, I don't want to say it, but, you know.
yes, absolutely. But more often than not, it's women that are
Yes.
getting
Yes.
attacked or abducted, whatever it may be. And so just for that matter alone of just showing that you care to protect this person, I think like the one guy said, it's free brownie points.
Yeah.
You walk a girl to her car after the date and like that shows a lot about you as a person.
So I got to share my guy brain and understanding the argument on both sides.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this discussion? Where do you guys fall?
Part of why I chose this video was because, you know, I wanted to hear your perspective as a guy and where you stood on that. But then also, I kind of wanted to hear Meg's perspective because Kevin's the first man that you've dated.
Yeah.
And so you've been in relationships with other females. And when I was watching it, I was like, what is that like in like a lesbian relationship? When you go on a first date, is there one person who, like, I don't want to make the assumption of whoever's more mask in the relationship has to be the one.
Kind of what comes to my mind actually is
Is
I
it?
feel like the person who might be a little more masculine would kind of take that role. Even like opening doors, things like that. I feel like that's how it was. It was like that. Yeah.
So-
but another point, what if you go on a date with two girls and they've parked in different directions?
You're going to get your steps in. I hope you wore the Fitbit because you definitely going to, I don't know, like do two people walk one person to the car?
I was gonna say,
Do you say,
walk
you stay
them-
here, I'm going to walk
come
them,
back
I'm going
and
to
get
come
you.
back, then we're going to go to your car.
I was gonna say you walk them to your car and drive them to each of their cars.
Okay, that's good.
All right,
That's a
that
good
is
method,
good.
I dig
right?
it. I dig it.
And like since there's two,
Especially if it's cold out, sure.
Yeah,
yeah, if there's
dig it.
two women, then it's like, you know, they're not being left alone with a guy who's just being like, yeah, like come into my car.
Yeah.
Because
Sorry, go ahead.
if it was a bad guy with one woman and he could attack her,
Yeah,
if
but
there's
one's
two,
going to be left alone.
one will. Oh,
He's going to drop one off.
this is true. But we're assuming this is a good guy.
Yeah, no,
he's
I
got
just-
good intentions. He's just trying to get them to their cars.
That's right.
Do you two, do the both of you believe chivalry is dead?
No, because we're in a relationship with you, and you are very chivalrous.
Yeah, or like if we're like driving down the street, or if like you see like an old lady like struggling to carry something, I feel like you jump into action.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's like I would also do it being a female.
So that's the thing. That's where I wanted to get to. It's not just like I'm a man and I got to do this. It's just being a good person and helping out, regardless of your sex or gender or whatever. How you ever want to. What is that? Your preference? However you orient.
I do think like the whole.
What's that word? What's that word I'm thinking?
Like
of?
identity?
Yeah, however you identify.
Yeah.
Thank you. That you should just be a good person.
Yeah, but I do think in the aspect of like paying for food, things like that, I don't think that the man should always have to pay. And I think that was more assumed in the past.
Yeah,
I think things have changed a bit now where I think there should be more equality in that area.
I personally think that when it comes to, once you get like a few dates down the line, there can be like a conversation about who's going to pay each date or if you split it, whatever. But the first date, in my opinion, should be paid for by whoever asked.
Initiates the date.
Exactly. If you ask someone out and then you plan this whole date and you go to a nice restaurant and then you're like, well, they should offer to pay. It's like, they weren't anticipating where you were
didn't
going.
pick this
what
restaurant.
the price was going to be.
Oh, great. Nobu?
Yeah.
You have a hankered for Nobu?
That's awesome.
I mean, how long did it take? Because in the beginning of our relationships, I feel like I did pay for the majority of it in the beginning. Like we've kind of all contributed now in different areas. Like sometimes you'll take us out on
Well, I
dates,
think
sometimes
you guys
will.
had more of a traditional beginning. So I'm sure it was more like that.
Yeah.
Because like I know when we started, we would like order pizza and I feel like we would just like split it or
Yeah, I think there was a little.
I don't think we split it in the beginning.
no.
No.
You're like, God damn you.
No, I know we didn't split it in the beginning.
No, you
Because
are very
I
good
was
with
I was
that,
like, damn, this is gonna bust the bank account if I keep this.
two
up.
women. Like, listen, we got to talk.
You guys are going to have to start splitting your meals.
Well, in the beginning too, it was like groceries as well. I was trying to pay for.
You were, and I was like, this is bold. Like we
Yeah, calm
we are
down.
going to split this.
Well, luckily, me and Alana now have like started splitting meals, not because of
have.
financial reasons, just because
we're so broke, we can't eat our own meals.
But we're going to the gym. We're not eating as much.
Well, yeah,
you
and
know.
we're just full. Like, there's no reason to have that much food. So it's kind of like you have one girlfriend.
It was for a while. We were going on dates, and we'd each get like our own burger, and realized we only ate half of it. But a burger is like a weird thing to take home.
Yeah.
because how do you reheat that?
Yeah, it's so funny. You guys ask for it to be split.
They
I've
bring it
never
out
seen
cut in
that.
half.
Yeah,
We
So
actually
cute.
didn't ask. We just went out.
On a date.
Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Cool. We just went out on a date.
I did not get that. You need to tighten up on how you're speaking. Come on now.
Hold up. We went out on a date, and Megan and I split a burger, and the server asked if we wanted it split. We would never forwardly be like, "Can you split that in half for us?" And
I feel like I've
would.
heard that.
I would say, can you please cut?
Yeah.
They've got the knife.
Yeah.
I don't have that knife. They do it better.
I'm not.
I'm
going to
mess the burger all up.
All right. Well, I was speaking for myself there. I didn't realize Megan over here is going to.
All right. All right.
I'm just kidding.
What's next here?
All right. Next video.
And that's why polyamory is bullshit. Polyamory is the definition of not going all in.
Yes, polyamory. It's a philosophy, some sort of belief system about being romantically involved with more than one person at the same time.
When you're in a committed monogamous relationship, all of your material, all of your wounds, all of your shit comes up, and you have to go through the fire with that partner. When you're polyamorous, okay, when I'm in a bad mood, I'm gonna go over here to Johnny, and then when Johnny's boring, I'm gonna go over here to Doug, and then when Doug doesn't talk to me the right way, I'm gonna go to Martin. And what you end up doing is avoiding your material, because anytime something difficult arises, you go in a different direction. You never have to actually face your own intensity. And that's the difference. The alchemical process of facing your own intensity through relationship, through sport, through commitment, through devotion is how we learn as men.
Whoa.
Interesting.
I just want to say the production quality on that. I mean,
It was a great quality video.
Great job.
Yeah.
feels like this
Very
dude.
convincing.
Yeah.
Very passionate about.
Polyamory being
Polyamory.
bullshit.
I mean, I'm converted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's over.
It's over.
So
See you later, guys.
I saw that video and I think it's bullshit. That's
Yeah.
my opinion on his opinion. I don't think that this relationship in any way has made it so that I'm avoiding anything in any way, shape, or form.
It's actually the opposite, I would
Yeah,
say.
like more, maybe has come up, and now I'm just like facing it with two people together. What do you guys think?
I absolutely agree with what you just said. I understand that there are some cases of like those that are in, I think he's conflicting polyamory and like open relationships, because I think there is a difference.
Well, open relationships could be a, little bucket within the polyamory umbrella.
Yeah. And so I think
It's still polyamorous. It's like still the polyamorous relationship. It's just a different type.
Yeah.
but I think he's solely focusing on more open relationships in his argument, and just basically saying those people kind of bounce around and they're like, I want to be talking to this person because I like how they comfort me, and this and this, and just like bouncing around. But
Which some people might do that.
Exactly. There's always going to be some people, but I think for the most part, it does bring up that same stuff that you would get in any relationship, monogamous or not. And in our case, it brought up more stuff because, we are dealing with a new situation for all of us being polyamorous and in this relationship. None of us had done this before. And so these feelings arise, and feelings of myself being with a woman for the first time, you being with a man, or like dating a man for the first time. And so it brought those things up, and we weren't just like talking to only one partner.
Well, like when you got uncomfortable with me because I was the first woman, you didn't just retreat to Kevin.
Yeah, I wasn't
Like
just talking
you were
to
like,
him
oh,
and
this
not
is too
involving
hard. I'm
you.
just going to go to Kevin. No,
Yeah.
you would like write me and reach out to me and be like, this is what I'm going through. So it actually, like you said, made you face more situations because of it.
It still forces you to face those insecurities or whatever feelings arise.
Yeah.
And you have, like, we deal with it all equally.
Yeah.
Even if there is a situation where I do go talk to one of you, it's maybe because, like, say you were off at the store and something came up, or one of you is gone. So I do talk to one partner, but then whenever the other one comes home, I feel like I still talk to you equally and express to you. Maybe I've worked through it already, and then I just explain to you, oh, this is what I was feeling. I've worked through this, and you could have your own opinion on it and share that, and we still talk through it. It's not just like, I've worked through it, I don't need you. We're all equal in this relationship in that sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know who this individual is. That was the first video I've ever seen of his.
Yeah, me too.
So I have no context if he's ever been in a polyamorous relationship. I don't know if he was and he got hurt, and that's why he was so forward with how he felt and calling it bullshit. But I think what he was explaining was an unhealthy polyamorous relationship where you would go, because even in an open relationship, the people that we have met that are in those still have a very rock solid, like, communication.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're really good communicators most of the time. I'm not saying that that doesn't exist, but it sounds, what he was explaining definitely sounds unhealthy of, oh, I have an issue with this person, I'm not going to communicate it out, which the polyamorous community is all about communication, transparency, authenticity. So I find it kind of strange. I like I said, I wonder if he's ever been in a polyamorous relationship for him to even speak about it, or if he saw something online you know what I mean? So I disagree. And I think what he was explaining could happen in an unhealthy setting. For us, it couldn't be the opposite, right? More the opposite, because when there is an issue, you have to communicate it with two people, and you're even more vulnerable. And the devotion is there, at least in our relationship, where it's a lockdown, closed triad or throuple. So it's not to say one is better than the other. Like, I would never shit on monogamy, because I think for some people it's great. I think for all of us, it was great until we got into this relationship. Like, I don't think there was any issue with monogamy.
There was no issue because it was monogamous.
Right.
Yeah,
Like that wasn't the root of any problem in any monogamous relationship I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
you know, he's entitled to his opinion,
Absolutely.
and we're entitled to ours. And
Absolutely.
I just don't. It doesn't sound as if he has experience in this to be able to say this.
Yes.
He probably just wants clicks, and you know that's fine.
Got him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
that's
right, let's go. Next, baby.
I just got to
Oh,
clarify.
yeah.
I wasn't shitting on open relationships because now I feel like it sounded
you
like
were.
I'm not. No,
Yeah, you were.
don't do this, Kevin.
okay.
I don't mean it that way because you're right. Those that we know who are in open relationships, they have a strong, healthy relationship. But what he's what did I say? Weird.
Oh, you're just completely changing what you just said before.
No,
Alana, I'm joking,
He's
baby.
messing with you, baby.
I know.
Nobody thinks you think that.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, you're right. It's more so unhealthy relationships that
Yes.
happens in. So anyway, I just had to clarify, but we're going to move on. Next video.
What did you call me? That was your name once, wasn't it? A long time ago.
So, for context, everyone obviously you don't know this, but we just finished going through the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit
Yes.
series. And I saw this online and I was like, oh my God. One, is very contextual because we just watched those movies.
Yeah.
Two, it's so true. We've had these conversations before where if I say Megan,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
like, don't, what? What? Like, am I in trouble?
Yeah, you wanna fight
Not
me?
even like Alana Rose or Megan Rose, your middle names.
Yeah.
Just, hey, Alana or Megan. You're like, what the?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get like a dirty look from us.
Right. Or,
Or
same
vice
with me.
versa,
If you're
whoever.
like, Kevin.
Yeah.
Like, who's?
I feel like that's very common for relationships. Like
Right.
once you have your like pet names that you call each other, like you better stick with them.
The only time that we need to say each other's names is when you use a generic pet name like babe.
Babe,
You
yeah.
say, hey, babe. And
Yeah.
there's silence. And you're like, hey, Megan.
Yeah.
Or when you're introducing your partner
Yeah, you
or
can't be like,
partners
"This
to
is
other people.
babe."
Hey, babe. This is David. David,
This is
babe.
This is my boo.
This is my boo. You don't call her that. You call her Kevin's boo.
That's right.
That's right. That's funny, though. I like that
That's
video.
awesome.
So true. And big fan of Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
Big fan. Wish there were more.
Yes.
Because we watched Lord of the Rings and then we watched Hobbit.
Well, there is another one coming out, and I think it's focusing on a little Smeagol's story.
Yeah.
I like it.
Got him. Yeah.
And he like throws it up. All right.
All right.
Those
So,
were fun.
what'd you say?
I said those were fun.
Oh, those were fun. I thought you were about to pull up another one just for fun.
No.
Just for fun.
No more
Here's
fun.
No more fun.
videos.
But now we
No.
want to get into the more you know. And this one's going to be a little different. Instead of reaching into our little grab bag and doing scenarios, we're going to try and provide a little bit of educational content,
Yes.
drop some knowledge on you nerds.
That's right.
I'm sorry, campers. And see
It's
what
time for
Call
this
them
more you
nerds.
know,
it's
baby.
time for this more you know.
So, this topic was kind of a little new for us because we're polyamorous, but just in the dating world in general, I feel like there's so much terminology, like situationship.
It's exhausting.
That was new. I didn't know about that when I was dating. So this term is Tolyamory.
Totally.
And Tolyamory, navigating the boundaries of tolerated infidelity. That's what it stands for. So it says a new relationship trend termed Tolyamory has emerged, characterized by couples tolerating infidelity within their relationships. Unlike traditional polyamory, which involves consensual and transparent multiple partnerships, Tolyamory entails one partner being aware of the other's extramarital affairs and choosing to accept or overlook them without explicit approval. This practice has been observed across various generations, reflecting evolving perspectives on fidelity and relationship boundaries. While some view Tolyamory as a pragmatic approach to modern relationships, others raise concerns about the potential emotional complexities and ethical implications involved.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That just feels, especially coining a term for it, like we're taking a few steps back in the progress we've been making with polyamory, which again, as I mentioned earlier, focuses on clear communication, intentions, consent.
Yeah.
This to me just seems like, hey, you want to cheat on somebody and like make it legit?
Yeah.
It's like,
Call it this.
You're just a polyamorous.
Yeah, you're
like,
just polyamorous.
What
dude.
do you mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it sounds to be within this group, you have to be sneaky, which sucks. You got to be shitty and like hurt potentially all parties involved, not just your partner, the other person, and yourself. Like, I'm sure that doesn't feel good.
So here's my question, though. Let's use that term, polyamorist. So the person who is polyamorist, is that the person it's the person who knows about their partner
Because they're tolerating?
Because they're tolerating, right?
And maybe it's both of them. Maybe it's whoever's involved.
It's
They're
just that's their relationship. is
everybody's
polyamory.
tolerating this shit.
That's so wild to
That's
me.
so wild.
Well, this feels like back in the day when men were like the breadwinners, right? And like women really had to depend on men for everything. I think that probably was practiced a lot back then.
It does say observed across various generations.
Yeah. So like you said, Kev, it feels like a step backwards.
Way
And you should
backwards.
have more respect for yourself than to tolerate that shit.
I could see it in relationships where people may have kids. And I think because of like, for the sake of the kids, they don't want to break up the marriage and they don't want to do that to.
Yeah, so they just tolerate it. They don't talk about it. But that's got to hurt in some way inside.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Putting our little empathy caps on for a second, just to see how it feels. I think if there are situations where, let's just kind of go down this role, like say there's a person in the relationship that is the primary breadwinner, and then the other partner is a stay-at-home partner. Whether they have kids or not doesn't matter, in my opinion. They just are not working. They're taking care of the house duties and everything like that. But it's been a while since they've been in the workforce. Maybe the resume isn't brushed up. They find out about this. Maybe they don't have a support system or family to like move into, and you find out about this and you're like, okay, well, my entire way of life is now shook. I can either A, brave for new shores and leave this mofo,
Yeah.
or I can just say, okay, now I know about it, but I'm comfortable. I don't want to leave. I've grown accustomed to this lifestyle.
I'm a polyamorous.
I'm now a polyamorous, proud, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I just can see how there might be some people that just don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know what I
if
mean?
maybe it
Yeah.
like does work for some people though?
Sure. Well, there are people too, and I'm blanking on the term because there are thousands of terms nowadays.
Yeah.
Where somebody doesn't enjoy sex.
Asexual, right?
Maybe it's asexual.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So somebody in the relationship is asexual, but they're like, okay, but my partner still has needs and desires. And then the partner is also like, well, my partner's asexual, so I need
So
to
they kinda
get
just-
mine. And then they find it somewhere else, but they're like, you
They
know
just
what I mean?
don't talk about it. I think that's more this polyamory thing is like it's something that's not discussed. It's
Yeah.
kind of like everyone knows, but we're just gonna, go on with whatever. So if that works for you, whatever, do whatever you want.
It does. For us, though,
Yeah.
like I hate surprises. I hate secrets.
Yeah,
If
me
any friends, family members, like, hey, can I tell you something? I'd be like, can everyone else know about it? Because if not, don't even tell me. I don't
Yeah.
like holding that in.
It's true.
No.
That would destroy me
Yeah.
if
No.
I was on the receiving end or the participant.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sound like a good way to live.
Sounds terrible.
You know?
No,
I will not be a polyamorous,
I will not be.
Me
a
neither.
polyamorous
but that's
either.
very interesting.
Very interesting. And if anybody is watching this in the comments
If you're a polyamorous,
or if you want to just message us privately with your experience and you don't want it to be public, we respect that. But very interested to learn more about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone identify as a polyamorous? Please let us know, because I have never met anyone who has. This is a very new term for me, but
well, maybe they wouldn't talk about it because it's hush hush.
right.
But if you're in the polyamorous community, you know what? F it. If you're in the monogamous community too, we want to know what y'all think about this, because we just heard about this today. We're like, we definitely got to talk about this.
Yeah.
So let us know your thoughts, your feelings. Maybe it'll work for some people.
Yeah, maybe. And if you haven't subscribed to the Camp Throuple Podcast, please subscribe, guys. We
Bingo.
really appreciate it. I think we're wrapping it here.
We're going to wrap it up here?
Yeah.
All right.